We're just at Neuropark here in Bexley, Christchurch, New Zealand, with my hounds, and the front with Cash, and the back there we have Archie, 11-month-old puppy, and then we have Del Del and Lauren. So people ask me what is Neuropark, what it is for. Neuropark is a rehab park, and even though a lot of our members use it as a chill out place and kind of like a dog park for their dogs who are not doing so well with other dogs or people, etc. Um, our aim is really to help dogs and owners along to expand their environment. We think a bit different at Neuropark because we understand that to address behavior we can't just use operants and conditioning methods. We have to look at the whole nervous system, its musculoskeletal system, its organ, everything. So when I work with people, I always ask them to go to a vet first, have a good checkup, and then go to a physiotherapist, a registered animal physiotherapist who really learned to see with digits when they feel the animals and can feel what is out of alignment and which muscles have to be worked on, etc. When I changed my outlook from the kind of like training mentality we have when it comes to um, dog ownership or dog training or behaviorists, etc., we very much base our ideas, our hypotheses, on an idea from the early 20th century by people that were very bright. They saw something differently than the scientists before them. Um, they understood that behavior, movement was important. Movement within an environment is very important. But they ended up just measuring behavior and then thinking by shaping behavior differently that we can just change things and everything is hunky-dory. And that was a little bit arrogant by these behaviorists because they kind of like decided that as long as I can change behavior, the brain doesn't matter. Feelings don't matter. And, you know, we are in the 21st century now, and even though when I talk about the brain as a predictive organ, etc., that sounds like something new. This is not a new idea. It's just an idea that wasn't really as popular as the idea of behaviorists, that we can shape everything to our liking by using classical and apparent conditioning. So what is Neuropark? We do things differently here. We don't, or we try to, come in with not thinking about what a behavior might be. And we come into this space and just watch the dog doing its thing. Because even though we want to believe and we want to argue that by measuring behavior we does understand what a dog is feeling, what a dog is perceiving, I would argue we don't really know. I wanted to say we don't have a clue, but that might be a little bit harsh. I am a little bit harsh at myself, so. But if you, it's a little bit far away, but I've been filming the dogs most of the time instead of me blubbering. Or blabbing. I was taught blubbering is crying and blabbing is talking. But if you watch Lauren now, and even Dal in the corner, there's a lot going on. And all the little movements they're making, these behaviors, these are symptoms of many things that are occurring within the brain. And what's happening in the brain is a lot of processing of previous memories of what something is most like. And that's what we mean when we talk about the predictability of the brain. You have to have an idea about something first to be able to move your senses. Look at these dogs now, they're really focused on something. They hear something or they see something, I'm not quite sure. You have to have an idea to be able to move the senses. Your eyes don't move in a reaction to movement. Your eyes predict movement. You have saccades happening quite often to see what is happening within the environment, because your brain has an idea what the environment is like. There's somebody coming, or a dog coming, or something. See, he's got some idea. And as a person, I can use my past experiences of how Dell and the others behaved in similar situations to, okay, usually there's another dog or a person coming. So I'm using past experiences to predict why they are behaving like that. But that pre-assumption might be wrong, because I don't see anybody coming as yet. So their inferences might be wrong as well. They might just have heard something that is similar to another dog coming or a person coming. Maybe a rustling in the grass or behind a tree. And so that is what Neuropark is really about. Understanding how little we know about how dogs perceive and feel, and just watching them and what they can do, how they can cope in a very small environment. And if they are coping, introducing something different, a little sniffing game, or doing some exercises, just stepping over things to see how well their proprioceptive senses are, so how they move within the environment, etc., can tell us something about the dog and about how or what we may have to address to help them along a little bit. So we don't do training in here as in sit and stay and obedience. This is an area where we want to observe the dog to see what we can introduce to make things easier for them. So if a dog would be coming from over there now, so my job in here is really to look ahead and observe the dog. And if a person with a dog would have come, I would have turned the phone off, and I would have put some treats down in a corner a bit further away, so they can do some treat searching to bring their heartbeat down, to calm them down a little bit. And that may have stopped them from racing to the fence and barking as Lauren would do, because Lauren is quite sore. She has a bit of a sore neck, and so she'll be the first one at the fence barking and telling dogs and people to go away. So this is one of many videos that I'm going to do for those interested to understand what is actually changing when we think of the brain as a predictive organ, and how using movement within the environment to find out if the idea that we had is right or not. Um, that's called active inference. Um, how we can apply that to help our dogs, and especially our dog owners, which a lot of times are quite lost. So for today, I'm signing off. I hope I didn't bore you too much. See you next time. Cheers. Bye.